It's now time for our aviation report, and I had an idea. I spoke to Rich. You all know the retirement group called AARP, AARP. Well, I tied that into Rich because think about it. I said to Rich, I want for the month of April, you do the greatest of the great, which is the greatest airlines, the greatest airports, and the greatest planes. Now, who's going to bring you the greatest airlines, the greatest airports, and the greatest planes? That would be Rich. So A, airlines, A, airports, R, Rich, and P, planes. So bringing you the greatest of the great in the month of April, leading it off, our aviation reporter, he is Richard Kaplan.
Thank you, Howie. Thank you so much, Howie. It's great to be here. Good afternoon, Long Island. Good afternoon, South Shore, Long Island, my hometown, Massapequa Park. The skies above us are cleared, so we've just been cleared for takeoff, so let's fly. Beginning my ARP segment, let's start with airports. It's no secret that it's very rare that you will find an American airport on this list. And sadly, this year especially is not going to be the case. We will not see an American airport on the list. What we will see, though, for our top airports, China, Europe. Let's begin. My number one pick for the number one airport in the world, I'm going to do it opposite because it's too extraordinary not to, is Dubai. Dubai has spent billions on their airline, Emirates. Emirates has the largest fleet of A380s currently flying. These are super jumbo jets. They can carry up to 900 to 1,000 passengers if they want. They choose to fly about 700. This airport is a juggernaut in the desert. It is a shining oasis to a weary desert traveler. It is state-of-the-art, brand new facilities. Emirates recently teamed up with Qantas in an alliance, and ever since they have not looked back. They are dominant. Number two is Hong Kong, China, an airport that I actually flew out of, Chek Lap Kok. Chek Lap Kok is located on Lantau Island, approximately 25 miles outside of Hong Kong itself. It is an extraordinary facility. Built on an artificial island of reclamated land, it took the Chinese government no more than 5 years to build this shining jewel. And if you ever watch National Geographic, they did a whole program on it. It is one of the most unique airports in the fact that it is all glass. So when you walk through the terminal, and if you're an aviation nut like I am, you can't help but notice the planes all around you. It is an incredible place. And they have a high-speed rail running right through the center of the airport. By airport rail, you are in downtown Hong Kong in less than 10 minutes, which is extraordinary. I love this airport. I personally, and this is the first time I've ever done this, because Rocco usually is the one that does this. I give them 5 stars. It is an incredible facility. Absolutely amazing. Number 3 is an airport that has been struggling, but is finally finding its own identity, and that is London's Heathrow. Heathrow recently invested over $1 billion in the Terminal 1 and Terminal 5 projects. What they have done is they have literally rebuilt their facilities to accommodate their new British Airways A380s, along with other airlines flying the A380. Now, if you're a fan of aviation like I am, and if you watch this program, you know how passionate I am about this. I'm an aviation photographer. It is a photographer's dream to go to this airport, because you will see A380s from all 4 corners of the globe. You will see airlines that you probably didn't even know exist. And it's also one of the few places where you can catch an airline known as Royal Brunei, which is the only airline that is run by a sultan. So it is an incredible airport. And I give Heathrow 4 stars, and I give Dubai 5 stars. So that is how you have your order here. Now, my next story is the attack that happened in Brussels. We all know about it. My heart and my soul has been in this story. So, without further ado, let me get into it. On March 22nd, Brussels, Belgium was attacked by ISIS. 16 people were senselessly killed as suicide bombers ripped through the check-in counters at Brussels International Airport. Now, the reason this story has taken such a personal note to me, a lot of people, you may not know this, the airport reopened today. And I'm going to get into that. Today, flights resumed in an emotional send-off for a Brussels Airlines A320. There were 3 flights. The first flight, they didn't exactly tell us where it was going, but the second and the third, I can tell you, they were going to Athens and to Turin, Italy. The 3 flights served as a test run for the airport, which usually handles 600 flights per day. Amid all the turmoil, Ahmad Feist, the CEO of Brussels Airport, said that 3 flights were a sign of hope following the darkest days in aviation history for the country of Belgium. Sadly, and I disagree with this decision, and I'm going to get into why, Delta Airlines has stated that they are not going to resume their flights to Belgium until March 2017. My personal opinion, and I hope people agree with me on this and even write me on this, is that this is sending a message that we're too scared to go to Belgium. Now, no offense, if I had the money, I'd be on the first plane down there right now. I love the Belgian people. They are hospitable. They love us. They care for us. When 9/11 happened, they pledged money for us. It is also the home of the European Union, and it's the home of NATO. This is sending a bad message, Delta, that you don't want to fly to Belgium until 2017. I think you need to get your wheels up and you need to get your jets into the air as soon as possible. Let the people know that we stand by you. We are there with you. We stood by the French when they were attacked. We will stand by the Belgians the same way. I know I will. Now, the attacks were coordinated, as I mentioned earlier, by ISIS. The reason we know this is that ISIS left evidence at the scene. Among them, they left their flag and they left their signatures in regards to how they go about their suicide bombings. About an hour after the airport bombing, a second device was exploded at a metro station in Malbec. Now, Malbec is home to the European Union. This is the first time ISIS has explicitly targeted the EU. Now, to airlines that are members of the EU, like Air France, KLM, they have pledged solidarity, and I applaud you for this. As an American, I believe this is what we need to do. We need to stand strong. We need to be unified. We are a country that prides itself on being free. Freedom of expression, freedom of religion, freedoms of the press. We need to use these freedoms to let the people of Belgium know that we bleed for you. We feel for you. You are in our hearts. You are in our souls. I am dedicating this entire segment tonight to the people of Belgium. So if anyone in Belgium watches this show, know that I stand behind you as an American united in the fight against terror. We will not back down till these animals are locked up. I assure you of that. As long as there's blood in my veins, I will always bleed red, white, and blue. Thank you for that. Now, one other piece I want to get into is my terminology. As you know, every week I throw a term at you guys. This week, no different. Altimeter is today's word of the day. Altimeter is a device that measures the altitude of the aircraft. Now, if you've ever been in the cockpit of an airplane, you will see that there is a set of lines that line up on the cockpit. When the lines are centered, your altimeter tells you your altitude. Now, on certain airplanes like the A380, when you're landing, once you reach 500 feet, there is a device that actually starts to call out your altitude. 500, 400, 300, 200, 100, 50, reton, reton. Reton is a fancy term meaning activate your thrust reversers. So on that note, now you are up to speed on aviation terminology. Now I want to end this segment on a historic note. We are finally going to witness something happening to the worst airport in the United States. LaGuardia has been green-lighted to get its redevelopment. $4.4 billion have been pledged to redo what Joe Biden so lovingly referred to as a third world nation. Now I can assure you, when LaGuardia is done, it is going to be the shining beacon of the New York skyline that we've all prayed for it to be for quite some time. We will see new airlines coming in. Hopefully new runways will be put in, which will bring international carriers to the scene. Now, one interesting note with this that a lot of people have not known and only came to my attention recently from my friend AJ. JetBlue is courting an international airline. They're in what we would like to refer to as a boyfriend-girlfriend stage. Iceland Air. If JetBlue and Iceland Air become buddy-buddy the way I think they are going to become, we may see Iceland Air ultimately come to LaGuardia, which means Iceland could become a major destination that it should be. Iceland is one of the few countries that you can go to where you can actually see the Aurora Borealis nice and clean. It is a beautiful city. I've never been. I hope to go someday. I urge everybody watching, if you get a chance, visit Reykjavik. Don't just go for Bjork. Go for the food. Go for the ambiance. Go for the amazing hot springs. And hopefully Iceland will become the tourist attraction that it should be. And on that note, you have just been cleared for takeoff. Our air traffic control has informed us. You have a wonderful Sunday. I will see you next Sunday. And to the people of Belgium, rock on. You are in my thoughts. You are in my prayers. You will get through this. Believe me. As an American, we've seen it. We've dealt with it. Now you're dealing with it. No, things do get better. You have the support of the entire NATO alliance. You have the support of the United States. And as an American, you have my personal support. Not that it really means anything, but if it does, I really pray for you all for a speedy recovery to the victims. Thank you.
Hey, great job, Rich Kaplan.